Hey there. Today we are diving into the science of learning. Get ready, because I'm about to share 7 research-backed strategies that will make studying more effective. Whether you're a student, professional, or anyone eager to learn new skills faster, these strategies will help you understand and retain information quickly. Instead of cramming for exams, space out your study sessions. Chunking is a technique that helps you break down large amounts of data into smaller, more manageable pieces called chunks, and working on different subjects or tasks during your study sessions. Our brain has 2 modes of thinking, focused and diffuse, and they work together to help us learn and solve problems. It's a simple yet powerful technique that can help you overcome procrastination and increase productivity. Before diving into your main reading material, spend some time skimming the chapter or article. Look at the headings, diagrams, and any summaries or reviews provided. This way, you'll have a better understanding of what to expect and be able to process the information more efficiently. Essentially, you're priming your brain for what's to come, making it easier to understand and remember the information. By familiarizing yourself with the structure and content of the text, you'll be able to focus on the details and make connections more easily. This simple trick can save you a lot of time and effort when it comes to learning new things, so don't underestimate the power of a little pre-reading prep. You set a timer for 25 minutes and focus intensely on your work until the timer rings. Here's how it works. Also, feel free to share any additional tips or tricks you have for learning things fast. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. After the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break and then repeat the process. The technique gets its name from the Italian word for tomato, and it was created by a student in Italy in the 1980s. The idea is that by forcing yourself to work in short bursts of time, you can maintain a high level of focus and avoid distractions. Plus, the regular breaks help to prevent burnout and keep you motivated. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by a big project or just need a way to stay focused and motivated, give the Pomodoro technique a try. It's a simple yet effective technique that can help you get things done faster and with better quality. Focused mode is when we're deeply concentrating on a task, like solving a math problem or writing an essay. Our brain is actively working through the problem and trying to find the solution. On the other hand, diffuse mode is when our brain is resting and seemingly doing nothing. It's like a mental vacation where our brain takes a break from actively thinking about a problem. However, during this time, our brain is still working in the background, processing and organizing information. It's like our brain is marinating on the information we've given it, letting it all sink in and making connections. Now, here's the interesting part. Switching between these 2 modes can help us learn and understand things faster. When we switch from focus to diffuse mode, our brain is able to process information in a different way, sort of like a mental shakeup. This can help us come up with new ideas, make connections we didn't see before, and understand things in a whole new light. For example, you may have had an experience where you could unsolve a math problem no matter how hard you tried. But then, after taking a break and doing something completely different, like going for a walk or taking a shower, suddenly the solution popped into your head. That's the power of diffuse mode thinking. So, if you're stuck on a problem, don't just keep banging your head against it. Take a break, switch to diffuse mode, and let your brain do the heavy lifting while you relax. Just like how a chef needs to let the flavors meld together in a dish, we need to give our brain time to let the ideas simmer and connect. For example, instead of doing 10 math problems of the same type, mix it up and do a few physics problems and maybe some coding questions too. Now you might be wondering why interleaving is better than just sticking to one thing. Well, here's the deal. When you keep doing the same type of problem over and over, your brain starts to get comfortable, and it creates a sort of autopilot mode. But when you mix it up, your brain has to work harder to figure out the best approach for each type of problem. This actually helps build deeper neural pathways in your brain, making it more adaptable and creative in how it solves problems. It's like exercising your brain's problem-solving muscles. Plus, interleaving also forces you to actively retrieve information from your memory, which is a key part of the learning process. By mixing it up, you'll be better prepared to apply your knowledge to new and unfamiliar situations. So instead of just sticking to what you know, try interleaving and see how much more effectively you learn. For example, instead of trying to memorize a whole paragraph, you could break it down into smaller sentences or phrases. Or if you need to remember a bunch of numbers, you can group them into sets of 3 or 4 digits. This technique is super useful for memorizing things like phone numbers, passwords, or long lists. Now you may be wondering why chunking works so well. Well, it's because our short-term memory can only hold a limited amount of information. So by breaking things down into smaller chunks, we make it easier for our brains to process and remember them. It's kind of like organizing your notes into sections with headings and subheadings. Plus, chunking also activates the right side of your brain, which is responsible for visual and spatial thinking. This helps you create mental images that can trigger your memory and help you remember things faster. Overall, chunking is a super effective technique for boosting your memory and understanding complex information quickly. So next time you need to remember a lot of stuff, give it a try. Spaced repetition involves revisiting and reviewing material at increasing intervals. For instance, after 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, and then 1 month. By doing this, you help your brain consolidate memories and fight the forgetting curve. One effective way to implement spaced repetition is by using an app like Anki, which automatically spaces out your repetitions based on your performance. In my experience, using Anki has significantly improved my learning speed and retention. It's a really convenient and efficient way to manage your study material, especially when you have a lot to cover. If you want to learn more about spaced repetition and how it works, check out my in-depth guide. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's get started. Number 1. Active recall, greater passive review. First is flashcards. This means don't just read your notes or textbook. Force your brain to remember what you've learned without looking at your notes. There are 3 ways to implement this strategy. A great tool for active recall is the use of flashcards. And among the many flashcard apps available, Key stands out as the most popular choice for its unique spaced repetition algorithm. Now, I know some people have mixed feelings about using digital flashcards, but let me tell you, they've been a game changer for me. The way Anki uses spaced repetition helps you to learn and remember information much faster. This is a super effective technique that involves teaching someone else, even though no one might be around to listen. You can make your own deck of cards or download pre-made decks from their vast library. It's an easy and effective way to remember things quickly. Second, closed book questioning. By explaining concepts in your own words, you'll solidify your understanding of the material and identify knowledge gaps. Now this method is inspired by the famous Feynman technique. It's all about breaking down complex ideas and making them simple enough to teach a child. And guess what? As you practice explaining it, you'll find that your memory of the concept improves significantly. So try it out and see how well you remember things. Third is to chunk information. Breaking down large amounts of information into smaller, more manageable pieces makes it easier to process and remember. For example, instead of trying to memorize 20 digits at once, group them into 4 sets of 5. Our short-term memory can only hold about 4 to 7 items at a time. So chunking allows us to remember more than we could otherwise. We already touched upon this earlier, but let's dive a bit deeper now. This technique is super helpful when dealing with numbers, long words, or lists of items. 5. Focused and diffuse mode thinking. Now this one is pretty fascinating. Give it a try, and you'll see how much easier it is to remember things when they are chunked. Now let's move on to know. 2. Spaced repetition. Don't cram. Number 3. Chunking information. Number 4. Interleaved practice. Instead of sticking to one subject or task at a time, interleaving involves mixing it up. 6. Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is a time management method that can help you study more effectively and get things done faster. Number 7. Pre-reading framework. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up.